Hey y'all, what's up? Welcome back to another interview with the Ooh Ladies First. We are exclusively interviewing Miss Winter Williams of Love and Marriage DC, back again for a season two, and we are really happy that you was back because we was slick ready to not watch. But welcome back and welcome back to the new season and welcome back to the Ooh Ladies First panel. How are you?
I'm doing amazing. I'm excited to be here. Correction on the last name. We're Harris, not Williams anymore.
Oh, correction.
Oh,
Winter
come on.
Harris. Yes, we appreciate a good correction. We do. We do.
Just got to clear things up. So we dropped the Williams. We are no longer Williams. We are back to Harris. So it is what it is.
Perfect. That's good to know. So, I do have a question. We're going to get into that divorce, though. We are going to talk about that just a bit. But being that you are in your second season, how do you feel like filming has been different for you from the first season and now the second?
That's a great question. I love season filming too. I mean, filming season two. Coming into reality TV, it's different, y'all. You don't know what to expect. I didn't know what to expect. I came in as a friend of the show. It wasn't like there was a whole lot of instruction given to me. So it's very much kind of sink or swim. Now that I've gotten the lay of the land, like I'm good. This has been fun. I've enjoyed filming, even
Hmm.
despite the drama. It has not bothered me at all. I clock in, I clock out. I enjoy my life outside of filming and I go to work when I'm filming. So when I look at it like a job, I enjoy what I do, but I also have a life outside of filming. And it's been good this go round. So I don't know. I've enjoyed it. It's been exciting for me. It's much different than
Hmm.
season two. Having new castmates has definitely changed kind of the dynamics. Not kind of, the dynamics are drastically different. Um, but I like it much better than season one. I have to be honest because a lot of us didn't know each other season one.
Yeah.
Quite frankly, Monique and I, despite the back and forth on what the nature of the relationship was, we had the longest standing connection, regardless of what that connection was. Nobody else did. And that was just weird. There's a lot of different connections in this group that are authentic and far extend the length of the show. That's what I feel makes it much better. There's a lot more continuity, and I like that.
Good.
Okay. Child continuity. Listen, I do want to read the next question, but it also makes me think about, do you feel as if you really fit in this season without Monique?
Great
Because
question.
it kind of feels as if they have you there because you're entertaining, but
Hmm.
not
Mm-hmm.
because they
Hmm.
actually have a space for you in the dynamic of the show.
Absolutely.
Phenomenal question. And it was, if I do recall correctly, I think I shared with you guys how the reunion was aired backwards in order
Mhm.
of it being filmed. There is a lot of that happening this season. And I say that because there is so much that has already happened that
Hmm.
has not aired.
Ooh.
Oh,
Oh.
wow. Now, see what
Well,
didn't happen. They
let's
saw
Let me
wait.
Winter
find
giving
out.
us the
The
tea.
Tell the
I was about to
wise.
say the network.
There we
It's
go.
the net.
Okay, we're back.
Am I back?
Irina,
I'm
was that
sorry.
you? Did Irina touch you? Let me stop.
Oh goodness. So what was I saying? Yes. So there's a lot of out of orderedness, and I understand it, but I don't like it because it appears to the audience like, why is Winter there? When in reality, I've been filming since we started filming. It's just that
Hmm.
they haven't aired the things that I filmed yet for the sake of what I believe they're going to begin to air. So my
Hmm.
story line will begin to take shape, I feel, in the next few episodes. Like I would say next week, week after that,
Okay.
you'll see a transition into Winter's storyline. A lot of
Okay.
what you're seeing is kind of a conclusion of season
Mm.
one and how
Mm.
I go from being in a very contentious place with the ladies into what steps I take to get out of that place.
Hmm.
And they're just there right now for whatever reason I don't have control over. I'm not gonna say it's bad. I mean, it is what it is. We know what we sign up for. So unfortunately, you guys don't see that, but I'm looking at the show like a lot has happened by now. A lot has happened before what y'all are watching happen. And I'm just like, so when does this get dropped in exactly? So I'm curious to see how it shapes up over the next few episodes. But winter's storyline starts to pick up quite a bit. And there's a lot, like a lot that takes place, both lighthearted and serious that they haven't shown yet, that's already been filmed technically by the time they're showing certain things as y'all are watching right now.
So they're basically editing out of order. Yeah, got it.
See, I'm so glad you asked that. So two things for me. Heavy on the I almost didn't watch if you were not coming back because it was the last episode. And the second thing I was going to say was Bondy's comment that it kind of just felt like you were there because you were entertaining. Because all of a sudden at the gym episode, I'm like, okay, but what are y'all going to do with Winter on the show? Because if y'all plan on arguing with her the whole time, then if y'all gonna bring in the best friend and give her a name tag, and we like, it was just so confusing. But I'm glad that you moved beyond that. I'm gonna assume. But one thing we know that you have moved beyond is Kevin. Now that their divorce is finalized, has he tried to contact you since?
Wouldn't know it. He's blocked.
Oh, love it.
He's blocked both, literally and legally. He's blocked. So I really wouldn't know. He's not allowed to. So.
Ooh. So when you say legally, do you mean divorce and restraining, or are we just restraining order like he's blocked?
No, like it's in our agreement. He cannot. Like he cannot.
He can't contact you.
He cannot contact me.
Wow. When you're done, you're done.
Yeah, and that's for intentional reasons. And I think that's kind of the unfortunate thing with the whole first season. People don't realize, like, there's editing, y'all. We can't control what they choose to show or not show. And we film hours that are often clipped down to like 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes. You know what I mean? So we don't get to choose what they allow to be shown to give context. There was a lot of context that wasn't given between he and I that spoke to a level of severity that I don't think people understood what I was dealing with, like behind the scenes. I didn't take it lightly. My family didn't take it lightly. My attorneys didn't take it lightly. So yeah, no, it's not allowed. So it's been nice and peaceful, and I've enjoyed since things have been good and done. Yeah, things are done and beautiful.
I'm glad. It sounds like this. Okay, so from what we saw in the season was that he was making up stories and just making it seem like you were lying about certain things. But the vibe that I'm getting is like this man potentially was infringing upon your safety. Is that part of what we didn't see?
Absolutely. At the vegan dinner, I refused to film that scene unless they had security on site. There were 2 security guards that were armed, and one in each corner. That's the only way I would have filmed. That was a non-negotiable for me. So I think, there's a level of, it's entertainment and we're sharing our real lives with you, but I didn't hold anything back. I was really putting my real life out there, but it also was taking into consideration like my real life safety, because there was a lot of things that were unpredictable when you're dealing with unpredictable personalities where you can pretty much ascertain there's some mental health in question. We were not playing. My mom, bless her heart, was in tears. Like, please don't meet with him. Please don't be in the same space as him. There were threatening, emails and text messages I was getting. Like, all of that had to go to our attorney as proof. So I think it's unfortunate the audience kind of drew a conclusion, but I got out because it was necessary. It wasn't as small as people wanted to make it out to be, like, oh, he lost his money. Now this young woman don't want him anymore. No, like, it was some really serious things going on, and I had to get out for, more than just the financial aspect and what he was being accused of. So yeah, that was not a game. That was a very, it was a very tumultuous scene. I wish people knew how serious that was. Everybody took it seriously though. Even Chris and Monique at the time, they took it very seriously as well. Like, that was not a game. So thank God, so far everything has been peaceful. We haven't had any issue. My attorneys were amazing, and I've been able to move forward without incident.
Good. I'm glad
That's
for you,
great.
child. Mm, 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 mm. Question. Speaking of Monique and Chris, Monique decided to leave the show. You guys have now gotten two new couples as castmates. Do you feel like her presence is missed at all? Like, do you miss her presence?
No. And I know that may sound crazy, but no. Um, I'm going to be honest. I don't know that everyone put together from the first cast was a good fit in the first place. And I've said this before. And I stand 10 toes down on saying that. I don't know that everybody selected was the best selection. Um, but certainly in this mix up of a cast, no, she's not.
Mm,
And I don't feel like this necessarily would have been her group to begin with, because you have to understand there's a lot of history, let's say, with Sherelle and Ashley and Quick. Sherelle's husband and herself, Quick and Ashley, they have a long standing friendship. This is not
mm,
just, oh, we got together and we're cool and we just want to be on TV. Like they know each other's families. So that there's that connection. Arena and Jamie and Joy and Clifton, they have a friendship. Clifton and Jamie go back years. Really, in the group, I'm probably the newest connections out of anybody. It just so happened that Black Sherelle, which is Alfred, Sherelle's husband, I call him Black. We all have another friend group that's gotten really close. So I've gotten to know them the most, and we're the closest. So there is genuine connection there. So, and there's another tie that you guys won't see. You will see coming up. It'll all make sense after a while. And people will be like, okay, I get it. I get how everybody is intertwined for real and not just for
okay.
TV.
Mm,
So yeah, no, it's very different. Unfortunately, her presence is not missed. I do always want to give credit to Monique, because without her being the centerpiece, season one, none of us
mm-hmm,
would be here. And anyone who
mm-hmm.
tries to take that from her is a Bama and should be ashamed of themselves. You just can't do it. But by the same token, I do feel like her absence has allowed for the cast to thrive in a way I don't know was necessary, not necessarily possible with her presence. And I think we saw a lot of that displayed season one. So
Mm,
that's my honest thought. And we have no beef, we have no issue. I don't have anything against Monique and Chris. We had a long conversation it's been more than a couple of months, back in like October, November, and I want to say November,
okay.
where we had an opportunity to really talk. And I understand their position. They understand mine. I knew it was a potential that they wouldn't come back. It wasn't my place to divulge that information
Mm-hmm.
before it came out. I don't get in the middle of contract, disagreements. That's none of my business. But I wasn't shocked when they didn't come back, and I respect their decision. But I do feel the show is much stronger in their absence, and that's just my honest assessment. And that's being on the inside looking in, and on the
Mm-hmm.
outside looking in.
Okay.
Mm,
So let's discuss the whole situation with gutter Barbies.
Yeah.
So I think it's hilarious personally. And you created the song and everything. Okay, so shout out to you for that. We gotta turn these things into money making opportunities, child.
They did.
But Sherelle, that's how we got introduced to your relationship with Sherelle.
Mm-hmm.
And Sherelle took tea back as if it was necessary. Oh, I just want to let you guys know that she's working on this song. And at first, I was like, Sherelle might be working in the confines of real life. In real life, you don't want no shit. You gonna go to people and just be like, lay it out on the table. But
Mm-hmm.
the more we watch Sherelle, the more I feel like everything is so she can be added to this cast in a real way. And so I'm just kind of wondering, how do you feel about Sherelle? Because you said that y'all connection was genuine, and I'm feeling like,
mm-hmm.
but is it though?
So let me just say, coming into this situation, Winter is Team Winter. Let me just start there.
Ooh.
And I think that's important for me to state now, because we're kind of at the beginning of things. And as this season starts to evolve, there's a lot of lines in the sand that are going to be drawn. Winter is Team Winter, period.
Ooh.
Aside from that, I can be honest and say my relationship with Sherelle is very new. I am closer to Black because we work together more. That's my brother. Um, but I'm getting to know Sherelle. You have to know Sherelle to know Sherelle. Her personality on the TV is as it is in real life. She is large
I
in
believe that.
every way, and she is who she is. But she's new to reality TV. And in that aspect, Bondy, I think you hit the nail on the head. There is a level of, I don't want no mess because I know Quick and Ashley in real life. And I know for a fact that Ashley does not rock with you. So let me clear up some things. However, Sherelle will back this up. I warned her. I said, do not fall into the trap I fell into when I talked to Monique at Swahili Village, thinking that I was confiding in a friend, just sharing my little heart about the vegan dinner.
Mm.
And that vegan dinner confessional, these are my confessions, got taken back. And that bone was not carried back exactly as I said it. And I warned her of that. I said, because unfortunately, reality TV is not as forgiving once you get on a certain track. And you only got one first time to make a first impression.
Mm-hmm.
And when I saw that scene, I wasn't worried about me because I can stand on mine and I know how this works and I know how it eventually ends up. But I was like, God dang it, here we go. And I can honestly say from that point forward, she's had a hard time getting out of the audience's bad graces because of how she carried that back. And I honestly feel like for the audience watching that and watching her, they had Monique PTSD. Like I literally felt like people were triggered. Like, no, this is the same thing that somebody did before. Don't do that. I felt bad for her because it's very hard to backtrack at that point. Because was it really necessary to say that Winter was making a song? Fine. If you want to say it was necessary, cool. But you know good and doggone well that song was not a diss track. You don't even have to give the disclaimer that Black would not make a diss track. It wasn't a diss track to begin with. It was our opportunity to turn a negative into a positive, which is kind of my theme this year. I'm turning negatives into positive. We're coming out of a divorce, that's a negative. And now I'm bouncing back in my singleness. That's a positive.
Right.
Much like Sign My Papers, much like Gutter Barbies. And it's like you have
Mm.
heard the song.
Don't they
You know
have
that.
merchandise though? Don't they have Gutter Barbie
She had a
merchandise?
jacket, a varsity jacket. Yeah.
And they
I was
sold
I,
it.
confused by the upsetness.
There we go. Yeah.
and exactly. So if they have a right to profit off of it, surely I do. I'm the one that came up with it. You didn't think it up yourself. So I don't
Okay.
understand the confusion. And it really was not negative. Now I can understand the audience being like, now Winter, how in the world is this about to be positive? When we know good and well it was a negative. And you're right. But give the song a chance. You haven't heard it. Black is a phenomenal writer. But I just kind of felt like you didn't even have to go back with that disclaimer because there was no disclaimer to give. You know it wasn't you knew it wasn't a diss track. And she said it's an ode to y'all. I was like, an
Yeah, that
ode?
was no,
No,
that's not
it's
it.
not. It's not. I sat there and said that it was not paying off,
It's not paying
homage.
homage. Yeah, no, I don't know
No.
why.
So I don't know. I
It's
don't
given I
know.
want scenes.
I don't know, but it did not put her in a very good seat with like largely the audience is not Team Sherelle right now. And it's only getting worse, I feel, as each episode
Oh yeah.
progresses.
This last episode, I was just like, girl, what is happening? Like we arguing semantics. Like if your husband shady, just go sit back and drink your drink. Like
You know why I
I
loved
think
it? Can
that
I
was the
just
first time I agreed with
interrupt?
Arena.
I heard Irena and I understood where both of them came from. But what I love the most though, I love that Sherelle gave to Irena what Irena gave to Winter when Winter tried to come to her about those receipts.
ooh,
And I
that's true.
said, now you
That's
know
true.
how it feels. And I love that scene. I'm not gonna
This
lie.
is
Because I
true.
said, now you get it.
That's a really good point of view.
And which is why I was on her neck on Twitter the whole episode saying, funny how the tables turn when we want to sit here and act like, oh my gosh, I don't understand why she's reacting like this. Last I was told I needed to keep husbands' names out my mouth, and we find it so easy to pull up a Google dictionary to describe
Mm.
the definition of somebody else's husband being shady. Let that have been Winter saying, well, the Google definition of shady, and as I want to describe Jamie, come on, y'all know
Mhm.
I would have caught so much grief for that.
Keep people's
So,
husbands out, all of that they try to do, girl. Yeah.
She would
so yes,
have.
Winter was. I was active on Twitter. Oh, I was not going to let it go. I wasn't, and it spilled over into IG today. And oh well.
Speaking of Irena and her reluctance to like hear it from both sides, I will say I did agree with her on this, but y'all had a really good point. She is hypocritical when it comes to Miss Winter. So my question to you is, why do you think she was so reluctant to really receive the receipts? Because in your message, whenever you had to sit down with her, you said you might just want to check with your friends. Like, it wasn't all coming from a bad place. It was you saying, some of this might be coming through the grapevine, and I want you to check with your friends. So why do you think she was so reluctant to hear it?
I don't know, but I also question motives behind going on another platform, even talking about something you received in private in the first place. It's given, I needed a storyline, and that's fine. We had to address it because you made it public. Otherwise, we wouldn't be talking about those receipts anymore. Furthermore, let's clear up the fact that because this had been almost 4 to 6 months in the making, by the time you circle back about said receipts, which is so conveniently around the time that we're filming or back to filming, now I've deleted everything. I had to go search for the little bit that I did read on screen because that's all I had left. So people can say, she didn't bring no receipts. Help, I didn't have them no more. I had deleted them. You never responded. So why would I hold on to it? I didn't. I literally had to dig for that particular message. All that to say, I don't think it would have mattered what I shared with her. I could have had a diagram of facts that had pictures and timelines and date stamps. It came from Winter. And the goal is to make it seem like Winter is messy. When, if we being completely, truthful, everybody on this show is messy at one point or another. Everybody shares the role of messiness, shadiness, foolery. It's what it is. It's reality TV. So I don't think I could have done anything better. She wasted my time and hers by even showing up because we honestly were having a pretty decent conversation. She left, came back, and the next thing I got was, we ain't friends. We ain't never going to be friends. And that's why I was kind of like, okay, Irena, you could have saved my gas. Gas is expensive. So I could have stayed home.
I love the way that you handled that. I love the way you handled it because it was given very much, I came here just to tell you we ain't never going to be friends. And you was like, okay.
It's giving Gretchen. For me, it's giving Gretchen. It's like, okay, Gretchen, we get it. You know what I'm saying? Like, secondary in Mean Girls. I just wanted to let you know that we're never going to be cool. You can't sit at our table.
We should
that's
all
what
just
it's
kill
giving.
Caesar.
Yeah.
Which makes me, ask the question is, do you feel like Ashley and Irena had a pact coming into this season to just not like you and not allow you into the circle at all?
I don't know, but I have maintained that I feel like Irena kisses Ashley's butt. So it's given very much. I did not get permission from said leader to like you yet, so I can't. And because of that lack of permission, I have to still dislike you. I don't believe she thinks for herself, which is what blows me about the whole Ray Ray situation. Like, you had to create a whole alter ego to have a voice. Make it make sense.
Who's
Like,
Ray Ray?
Ray Ray is her alter ego. She calls herself Ray Ray. That's Ray Ray is who that was the Bob we saw.
Yeah.
That's Ray Ray.
Oh, that's very Sasha Fierce. Okay.
Yes, that's her Sasha Fierce this season. So, Carlos openly talks about it. Everyone talks about Ray Ray. She calls herself Ray Ray. Somebody thought I was saying that to be cute. And I'm like, no, this is what she legitimately calls herself when she wants to get bucked. And it's like, okay, so apparently Ray Ray is the volume box or voice box of Arena, because we know for a fact Arena doesn't have one. And that's all I was clearing up. So I don't know. I don't like Ray Ray. Let the record state, I don't like Ray Ray. Ray Ray is very strong and wrong. That's how I feel about her. I love that she's given Arena a voice, but I feel like Arena was more sensible. Ray Ray has no sensibility whatsoever, and it's just a lot of strong and wrongness that just wears me out. So
that's interesting when you say that you feel like she has a leader, because when I was watching the episode from last night, Sherelle was telling Ashley, hey, if you really got a chance to get to know Winter, you guys would be great friends. And I said, actually, I don't think that would happen because when I look at Alicia, and it's no disrespect to her, it's just an observation, I feel like Alicia is a yes woman. And that's what Ashley may typically like around her. And I don't think that Winter is going to allow that. So they will never be friends because I think Winter's going to call her out every chance that she gets.
I agree with that, Jamie. I absolutely do. I'm gonna leave Judge Faith alone, but yeah, she absolutely, it's just another, minion vibe, and that's no disrespect. I'm sure she's a
Mhm.
strong Black woman in her own right, but on the show, it's giving security guard.
Did you say
Yes,
Judge Faith?
and
That's what Alicia looked like.
I was
She
like, she
does.
does look like her. I couldn't
That's a
figure it out.
compliment. That's a
um,
compliment.
It is.
so about that scene with Alicia, so people made it seem like, oh, Winter's messy. She came in starting stuff. Why does she have that attitude? Well, what you don't see is that that scene was actually edited. I came in to Alicia saying, don't talk to me. Don't come up here. We don't know you. I don't know you. And furthermore, I was not even coming to you. You're right. I don't know you. So I wouldn't address you. I would address Arena and Ashley. My goal was to be cordial because it was Sherelle's event. No one's trying to have a bunch of drama. And so when I got ready to leave, I spoke to Sherelle quite naturally because I do know Arena and Ashley. I said, have a good day, ladies. And that's when I say, I don't know you. I say that in response to her running her mouth over there.
Mhm.
If you notice, Sherelle actually gets between us. That's why, because Alicia is already popping off. And she was like, all right, Winter, let's go. Because she know I don't have it in me to sit there and have somebody pop off at me. It just ain't going to work that way. So that's how we get outside. And I call her an offensive lineman. And I was not saying that in response to her shape. I was saying that in response to her stance. Because yes,
Mm.
she is a guard dog for Ashley. But last I checked, at Ashley's big old age, she can defend herself. We know how to go toe to toe. I don't
Mhm.
need your best friend. Did I not take flack for my best friend coming at Ashley last season? It's like we have amnesia on this show. I don't understand. Y'all were mad at me at the reunion for my best friend saying what he had to say about Ashley
I
and quit.
wasn't.
Mhm.
I wasn't.
But
Yeah.
but now all of a sudden your best friend get a free pass and she can just come at me and say whatever. No, but it don't work that way. So I told her we did not need an audience. You stay yourself over there. And if you need to speak to me, you can book an appointment. I do have availability on my calendar. But other than that, you do not talk to me.
You
Mm.
could
I have a
tell
question
that they cut
on
it up.
that.
Oh
You
yeah.
could. I know it's funny because we all talked about it before. But my
Mhm.
question, it was this episode for me when Alicia started speaking out of place. It felt like she was working nights, holidays, and weekends to recoup for the total car. But you said that the episode was, we may get different scenes at different times.
Yes.
So just me being nosy, do you know if the Honda was totaled at this point in
Not the.
time,
Was it a?
or or not? I just wanted to know, was it totaled?
I don't know.
Because that would
I
explain why she was working so hard to get up in the scene.
I don't know. I honestly didn't even know she had the accident. I had no idea until I watched the show that that
Mhm.
had went down. So I don't know. I really
Hmm.
don't.
Okay.
Well, let me ask you this. We going back to Irina. Okay, we
Yeah.
see a lot of interaction between little Jamie and big Jamie and their overall dynamic as father and son.
Hmm.
What has been your thoughts as you've been watching it play out of the past few episodes?
So I think everyone can definitely agree that Jamie comes on very strong. I don't think anybody's wrong in drawing those conclusions, whatever they may be. But I will say, as a parent of adult children, a part of me empathizes with Big Jamie because it's not easy. Um, it can be challenging, but
Mhm.
by the same token, I also feel for little Jamie because I think there's a level of feeling like, the spotlight is always on me. He doesn't measure up. He's always getting criticized. And that's hard. I also think there's a huge mental health component that I'm happy to see they addressed in last night's episode, but I think that's largely at play. But I have
Mhm.
no judgment. I really don't. I think there's only so much we can see and dissect in 42 minutes on a show minus, with commercial, should I say, 42 minutes. You ain't gonna see it all. God only knows Big Jamie's struggle with him and vice versa. God only knows little Jamie's struggle with his dad. We don't live in a house. So I try not to make judgments when it comes to parental relationships, because God knows there is no manual on how to raise kids. We do the best we can with what we know.
Mm-hmm.
My hope is that they get past it, and that little Jamie finds it within himself to want to do better for himself. And that honestly, Big Jamie addresses the parts of him that he certainly needs to address. I think the audience saw some red flags last season, and those obviously have impacted his relationship with his son. So I hope he, takes accountability and ownership and gets his situation addressed as well, because it's going to take both of them, I think, for them to have the relationship that they want, and for little Jamie to truly feel supported in a way that helps him, move forward in life and actually make something of himself. Because to me, it's kind of disheartening to see. I wouldn't want my son. He's 19, but I couldn't imagine him being in that same boat, because we have high hopes for our kids.
Mm-hmm.
And my daughter, she's 21. You guys see us navigate something with her this season, if they ever get to it. I thought it would be aired by now, but it hasn't.
Okay.
But she's done very well. She's made me proud of her. But every child goes through something that can be very detrimental. You just never know. So all the best to them. I don't really have a judgment about that situation. I'm proud of them for airing it, because there can be a lot of criticism that comes with it, just because people aren't living with you 24/7. That's my thoughts.
Yeah, I agree. I
Oh,
agree.
I know. I'm just scared that whatever she did say, they still gonna find a way to make it seem like she said something wrong. Um,
Well, Irena did that when she went back and told her husband that Winter was talking about their child.
mhm.
When she wasn't.
Yeah. It very much feels like, they have an issue with people talking about them in general.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. You've been really active on TikTok. You've been posting a lot of funny videos talking about exes to younger men shooting a shot with you in the DMs and such things. So, what's going on with the dating life? And will we see it on the show?
So if you go to my IG, you will see said subject in the video.
The live that you
Is it
did,
the
I think it
last
was last
live?
night.
I saw that and I was like, is this the best friend or is this him? That's him.
New
Oh,
new
okay.
boo. New
Okay.
boo. You guys will see this play out on the show from the beginning. So this was
Okay.
unplanned. I did not come into the show dating anyone. I was good and single and ready to mingle. My thought process was that I was open and willing to show the audience what it looked like to bounce back after divorce and get back into the dating world. It was time for me. We had been separated for 18 months at this point. So it was time for me to get back out there. It wasn't anything wrong with that. But I didn't have any prospects. So I was just like, I'm open to seeing a matchmaker. I'm open to going speed dating. Y'all can film all of that. I don't care. I don't have this crazy dating life as it is, but whatever I got, y'all can shoot. And something happens unplanned and we meet.
Mm.
That's all I can say without getting in trouble.
Well, the fact that y'all are posting together after the show shows that y'all survived, a season of reality TV. So I'm super hopeful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bless his heart. He's gotten thrown into this, but he's been a good sport. Yeah, I think, it's just kind of how life happens, I think, sometimes. But yeah, it'll be interesting for you guys to watch. I'm trying to choose my words carefully. But I feel like if you go back to my IG, like people that pay close attention will notice that he kind of made an appearance on my TikTok before he made an appearance anywhere else, because people don't really follow me on TikTok like that. So I can
Mm-hmm.
live my life and not be worried. But on IG, if you go back and like look around Christmas time, I had a Christmas party at my house. Sherelle actually posted this video first, and I started getting hit up in my DMs like crazy. And I'm like, what is going on? Well, she posted a reel of my Christmas party where all the couples had to come dressed in matching pajamas. And in her reel, she caught a clip because her daughter was sitting in my lap. That's my baby. And we were kissing. And people saw that in the reel. And literally people were like, oh my God, congratulations. I'm so happy. I'm like, what are y'all talking about? And so I had to go back and look. I was like, Sherelle, seriously? Like, she was like, I'm so sorry. I was like, fam, No. I mean, he's been around. It's not super. It's new, but it's not super new. So we're having a good time. It's been nice, but y'all will get to see it all. Ain't nothing that's hidden. That's for sure.
Okay.
Nothing.
We looking forward to seeing it all. I was wondering whether or not any of your cast members knew him prior to you guys connecting. Because I just feel like they may possibly be after you. So that's going to be interesting with what they may try to pay you back with. And so I was just wondering that.
It's clean, but watch.
Okay. We on the money. Okay. Anyone else have any more questions for Miss Winter Harris?
I do. Okay,
Extra on the
so
Harris, period.
would you do this again?
Good question.
Would
Okay,
I
it's
do what
giving.
again?
Would you do this show under these circumstances? Because I feel like if we're only so far into the season, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
But essentially you're still kind of on the outside looking in, and even
Yeah.
though they will draw the connections, it feels as if Arena and Ashley are just not gonna like you. So by product, their clique is not going to like you,
Mhm.
and you're on
Yes.
the outside kind of by yourself. Like, I wouldn't count Sherelle as a friend for real. Like, in this
Right.
circumstance, she's more loyal to Ashley and Quick. So
Absolutely.
I'm just wondering, like, knowing that now, even with the change up, Monique leaving, would you still want to do this for a third season?
There's a lot that has yet to happen. I don't ever like to speak on whether or not I will or won't return because I really just don't know until I know. And I didn't know if I would come back season 2. And I was leaning largely towards not coming back because I was just like, this is for the birds. Um, I don't know. We'll have to cross that bridge when I get to it. Things are much different now, personally. And I don't have to be in a clique. I've never been the clique type. I've always skipped to the beat of my own drum, and I prefer it that way. Because while people may, especially my friends and family, a lot of them don't love the edits that I get, and I don't love them either. But without those edits, I don't think people would largely know that winter existed. So there's an advantage to being on an island, in my opinion. And the goal is learning how to navigate and operate this particular platform in a way that really benefits you professionally and financially. So that is something I have focused on this season. But now that things have shifted, and you guys will see what I mean. And trust me, just watch. It may impact whether or not I return or not. And a lot of it just depends on what it looks like. Things can change, but these dynamics change so much this season that I don't know. I say I'm 50-50 at this point in the juncture, but we don't know if there's a season 3 coming or not anyway. So we got to wait and see if even the network gives us a go. But
Yeah.
if they do, I haven't made a decision. I'm half and half, but there's a strong reason why I wouldn't, and there's a strong reason why I would, and we'll see how the cookie crumbles on whether or not I'll make the decision to return.
Well, I mean, it sounds like if you don't return, it's not gonna be a season 3 anyway. But that's just my opinion. Um, so you talked about things shifting. My question
Yeah,
for you is, if you had to describe the rest of the season, which we haven't seen yet, in a few
Mhm.
words, how would you describe it?
tumultuous. Um, for me, it gets amazing. Actually, the rest I'm gonna enjoy watching because I watched the first season like this, and I didn't watch some of it. I'm just being honest. This season, I actually have watched every episode, even the good, the bad, and the indifferent. I have enjoyed reading the commentary. Even the negative has been fun for me to watch. Um, but because I've filmed, I know what happens. You know what I mean? I don't know how it's going to be edited, but largely I know what happens. I'm excited for the audience to journey with me this season. So I'm really pumped for you guys to watch the rest of the season. Baby, listen, there's so much more left. I'm trying to figure out how they're gonna squeeze it all in because I know for a fact there's so much that has not been aired yet that is serious. I don't know. I'm like, how do we get? Uh, uh,
Mhm.
I don't
Do
know.
you
And
think they will cut some things out? Do you? Because I feel like there might be some cutting of things so that they can,
Yeah,
you know,
I agree.
protect.
Not
Yeah.
Ashley.
And I'm not gonna say a person, but I do feel like there's an energy that they will withhold certain things to protect certain people on the show, to
Okay.
protect their image. Um, and that's how they consider themselves above the other reality show people, is that they'll not show certain things in order to protect certain people. But sometimes it's kind of like, well, then what are we watching exactly? Are we
Mm.
watching what's happening, or are you guys like creating a narrative around what's happening? And that's not fun. And I feel like as much as reality shows think that has worked for them, we've noticed, especially like with Real Housewives of Potomac, it doesn't do well over time when y'all overproduce to try to cover up for people. So I'm just,
we shall see. The next 1 to 3 episodes will be very telling.
okay.
Okay.
Only because it's it's just so much that has to happen before other things happen.
Mhm.
Otherwise, it's not gonna make sense. It really isn't. Like we can't even get to another part of the season unless you start to air some of these things that have taken place. It just isn't going to connect the dots for the audience. And I think it's going to frustrate the audience if they don't start rolling some of this stuff out. Now, I have a personal theory as to why I think certain things haven't been aired, and I'm going to reserve my judgment until I see what the situation is. But rest assured you, if
We're
it
gonna have to have
goes
you
the
back
way
on.
I'm thinking,
Mhm.
I will not hesitate to speak up. Only because
Okay.
I have kids involved
Mm.
and the way you paint a
Mm.
thing matters to me as a mom. And I'm not joking. And I don't care. This will be public and people can see what I'm saying, but I'm not joking about that. And I will scream from the rooftops to correct it if it ain't done right. Um, so we'll see. We shall see. That's all I can say. But I don't think you're wrong when you see certain people get certain edits. I think we see that in every reality show where there may be a certain bend towards certain people. But I will say there's so much that happens and there's a huge shift. Um, it kind of shakes up everything. So what it looks like
Oh,
right now is not gonna be what it looks like.
because Ashley and Arena are gonna get into it.
Boom.
Yeah, we
And
seen
see,
those
I have a
previews. I can't wait. And it looks like she gonna get into it with Joy too. So it's like
Yep.
Ashley versus
I'm
Everybody.
everybody.
so glad you brought her up because that's what I wanted to ask Winter. We haven't talked much about Joy and Clifton, and we haven't really seen you guys interact yet. Because I feel like wherever you've been, she hasn't been necessarily. So I'm
Correct.
wondering if we're going to get scenes with you guys and if you're going to take a liking to her. Oh,
I
My
was
ass getting excited.
it's the quietness for
Listen, I
me.
feel
It's
like we
the
already know the answer.
it's giving a yes person for Ashley, another one for Ashley,
I
but
will
it can't be.
Well, I feel like what we know about Joy from Ready to Love is that Joy is very male identified. So I think it's not going to take much for her to have beef with another woman, even if those women don't get along.
I will state for the record I do not dislike Joy.
Okay.
Okay, that's
I
great.
do not dislike her.
Okay, that's
Do
good
you
to
So
know.
like
so
her though?
non-factor is what you're saying.
Huh?
She's a
Non-factor.
a
I wouldn't
non.
say that either.
Okay. So you like her.
I
So we
don't
can
dislike
confirm that you've met her, you've interacted with her,
her. Uh-huh.
but you don't know how you want to take. You're still trying to figure out how you want to take her.
I don't dislike her. Is what I can say for sure. I
I
don't
feel like
dislike
she
her.
like her because she went off on Ashley and nothing else.
I don't dislike her. And the dynamics between everyone, y'all, I'm telling you, what things are right now is so like shaken up at this point in the juncture. Like it is so much stuff going on behind the scenes, and I'm trying to like, I don't want to say things
Choose
I
your
can't
word.
say, but
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
it's a lot.
We like
Okay.
a shake
I
up.
I think that Arena and I's back and forth, spills over into Twitter because it's just what it is. Jamie and I are cool. We don't have any issues.
You and Jamie are cool?
Yeah. I mean, I've said this before. Like, we
Therapy
had
is
a discussion back in, I saw them at an event back in December. We had a private conversation. So we've been largely cool since and really trying to move forward. Arena and I have had a little more difficulty than Jamie and I. So Jamie, I believe, has just chosen to stay out of women's business and let the women do the women. He doesn't get involved. A lot of the men kind of choose that path for the most part. But it's just the dynamics are so interesting. So you guys kind of see Arena and I's kind of back and forth, but there's so much that you guys don't see where all I can say is I don't dislike Joy. And that's important for me to say because even that becomes interesting based off of what the clip we saw, right? With the back and forth with Arena and Ashley and Joy and Ashley. And I was not present at that Christmas party. Let me just say, Winter was not there. I didn't have eyes on the situation. And that's important for you guys to know.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, we won't jump the gun just yet, but I'm just gonna say I felt like, just with this past episode, Joy was being hella messy. Trying to act like, Arena said something that she did, that's not the words. Girl, what? You said that was shady. Stop it. Like that so that you don't have to fight with Sherelle. Whatever.
And let's be clear. A lot of things can be said about Sherelle, but Sherelle is that girl when it comes to
Fighting?
put up or show up. Put up or shut up. She ain't gonna shut up.
It felt like
Joy
she
was
backed
looking
down.
like, whenever it's two kids, the first one is getting a whooping and you kind of sitting there like, oh, I'm next.
Let me
That's
be
what Joy
quiet so I
was
don't
looking
get
like.
it. Yeah.
Yeah. Joy's like, let me be quiet and not say I was involved because I'm going to get my spanking next. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sherelle, she does a really good job of navigating being on TV, but in the streets, this would have already been handled already. And I'm not joking. I'm probably the most calm. I ain't fighting nobody. My mouth does the fighting. And, prayerfully somebody who can fight is with me because I'm not fighting. I'm just going to get hit. And I would take it like a woman because my mouth would have gotten me there. It's what it is. And I
I'm
own it. I don't
tasing you.
fight. I'm too cute to fight. I really am. Like, I don't
tasing
do
you.
it.
You ain't hitting me. I'm tasing your ass. Don't
Tasing.
get close. And then I'm gonna call the police and say that I felt like my life was in danger. She lucky all I did was tase her.
Right.
Just in
Listen,
case people want to, threaten me over the internet, because y'all like to do that in DC. Y'all like to threaten people over the internet.
well, people pretended like that never happened. And I like to state that I don't fight, I press charges. So, that is my motto. I don't personally fight. I will press charges, though. My child is over here laughing at me. I do press charges. I don't play the game.
Listen, we grown. I'm sore right now. I don't have
Right.
the energy to be rolling around just because you extra mad about nothing. Girl, go on away from me with this. It's how it's what it gives. Like
Everyone is not wired that way, and I understand it. Where people fight with their mouths, other people fight with their hands, and so we do have a lot of the handsy people on this cast. And I hope that there can be some resolve. But honestly, based off of some recent interviews that I have seen, this is not going in the right direction, and it just gets explosive.
who are the main
I
people?
don't know.
Who are the main people that we circling around right now? I'm curious.
The people that you saw involved in the incident, like last night, those people are still very much still having issues.
Arena and Sherelle are still arguing.
I'm sure.
Girl, about somebody being called shady.
It's
I
not
think
even,
neither one of them lets anything go.
it's so I ain't gonna speak for Sherelle. What I will say is what I feel like is Arena's in a lot of business that has nothing to do with her. And I stand on that. I would tell her to her face, Bob and all, you're in a lot of business that has nothing to do with you. And so that kind of creates contention. But, we have the whole Joy and Clifton of it all that doesn't necessarily dissolve easily. And if people think that Sherelle and Black are going to back down, they're horribly mistaken. So what I have seen is a lot of accusations. And like people said to me, Winter, you accusing, you ain't got no receipts. Well, baby, what I have seen is a lot of accusations and no receipts.
Mm. Mm. Wow.
So Winter is the accountability police, because that was what I was told last season. I wasn't accountable. And so now that I have been accountable, I've made my apologies, I've moved forward, I'm not apologizing any longer. That's old. This is new. I want people to be accountable, because there's a lot of hypocrites that are moving around in these circles in the DMV, and we can't be hypocritical. So I feel like there's a lot of meddling. There's a lot of no receipt giving. There's a lot of shade being thrown that people want to backpedal on. And, all the shade I throw, I ain't backpedal on it. I mean, I can't. It's on film. So if I said it, I said it. Yes. Did I refer to them as a football team? I did. Did I say she was an offensive lineman? I did. I mean, it's what it is. There's a lot of backpedaling, and it doesn't need to be, but I also have not seen any receipts. And as a viewer, because I'm a viewer and a participant, but as a viewer, if you're going to accuse, I want to see some receipts. And that's all I have to say.
Okay. Any other moments we should look forward to this season?
I'm about to tell you. What are we accusing people of? Oh my God.
Right, we're hearing children and oh goodness, the rest of it. We got a
Child,
long season ahead
it's
of
getting
us.
crazier and crazier. Yeah. I'm thinking we saw somewhere. We ain't seen nothing yet, clearly.
Oh, no. Like, no. Like, I feel like we are crumb dropping right now. And it's been great to show all the great stuff with the Tylers. Been great to highlight mental health. Wonderful conversations that we've seen. But the train has yet to leave the station. It's getting ready to. But yeah, no, it's so much more. That's why I keep wondering, like, when y'all plan on folding the rest of this in, because it's a lot to fold in. And at some point, y'all just gonna start throwing stuff in, because it's just so much left to cover. And no, we have not. I wouldn't even say the fat has hit the fan. The fat has not hit the fan yet, but baby, listen, it's some fat that has. Oof, yes, this is an explosive season, and I just know, because like I said, I filmed it, but as a viewer, because I watch as a viewer too, which is why it enables me not to take feedback personally. Like, people say crazy stuff, y'all, I don't care. Like, it's entertaining to me. Like, I don't know. Somebody said that Sherelle been messy since season 1. I was like,
She
baby,
wasn't even
Sherelle
there.
wasn't on season
Child.
1.
Wasn't even there.
Just say
Like,
whatever.
that's the type of stuff we get sometimes, but it's fine. People are allowed to have their opinions. That is what drives the show. But by the same token, like, as a viewer, I'm invested at this point, because I'm like, oh baby, we get ready to turn the corner here. And it just is layers and levels to it, because there's so many things that are happening simultaneously, and there's, like, people branch off into their own storylines, but there's still the group storyline. It's a lot going on. No, we ain't seen nothing yet. And I would be curious to hear y'all thoughts by the time all this situation gets rolled out, because
I feel like we're gonna have you back by the time we get to the
Yeah,
end.
me too.
Because I don't I'm gonna tell you
Definitely.
right now, I don't trust Love and Marriage DC to give us the real tea. The producers, I want y'all to know, I don't trust y'all to give us the real tea. I think y'all gonna give us some type of, weird version of it. I don't know, but I don't trust y'all. It always feel like, especially when it's highly messy shit, they be like withholding information for the longest, and we just be like, but why did this happen, and what happened here, and we just don't know. Then people don't like each other, and now they fighting, and we just got to come along for the toxic ride. And I'm here.
That's how so many shows play out on social media. And I don't want this show to play out on social media like Love and Marriage
Right.
itself.
Right.
Like, I want to see it on the show. I don't want
Or
y'all to
even
wait.
Potomac. Potomac had a period where it was playing out on TV, and
Oh,
like,
social.
to really have an opinion, you had to watch the show, but then be like, oh well, this happened. I don't want that.
yeah, I
Gotta be
really hope
important.
they don't have a need to have this play out on social media. Like, they just need to roll the clip. Like,
Yeah,
seriously,
let us see it.
just
Yeah.
roll the clip, because again, You know, a lot of us aren't veterans. Even with Joy and Clifton, they're not new to reality TV. They know how it is. There's some, child, it's just,
Girl, you got us
it's,
excited. Where
it's
we
some
were not.
revelations and some,
Mm.
some things. I am happy to report that although winter starts out messy, and I'm okay with being classified as messy because it is a little bit, and it's what it is,
It's all
whatever.
messy.
Winter starts out a little messy, and then she don't get as messy. Like her messiness calms down because of other things that transpire that take her attention away. All that to say, it's really some messiness that begins to come out that it's kind of like, I did not see that coming. I mean, I have been filled in some scenes, and I'm just like, say it ain't so. Like, did that really happen? It's just, woo, child. I
That's a
clocked that in
lot.
at some point, but mainly for Ray Ray.
Okay. Well, we're looking forward to seeing it. So tell us, what else do you have going on outside of Love and Marriage DC, and where the people can find you on social
Yeah.
media?
So you can go to simplywinter.com. That's my main website. And you can connect with me on all social media, TikTok, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, IG. Simply Winter Official or I'm Simply Winter are my tags. Let's see. Winter's working on music. I have an EP coming out hopefully this year. We are actually recording a third song. You guys learn about that in the show.
Okay.
My EP is telling a story. So I'm excited for you guys to hear Gutter Barbies. You haven't heard it yet. I'm excited for you guys to hear the third song. But we're building and I'm excited. So we're in the studio. Romancipation will be out some point. We're really pushing for this year. That's the goal. And then I'm also doing Romancipation. I don't want to call it a tour, but we're doing live shows here in the DMV. So the Romancipation Love Jones edition is coming up in the next week or so here in the DMV. So you can purchase tickets to attend that. And I'll be performing a couple of tracks for my EP there. Let's see what else. Winter has a new cookbook coming out called the Single Housewife Affirmation Cookbook. And so it's a mixture of recipes, affirmation, and etiquette tips because I also launched an etiquette class with Covenant House here in DC. And so those are some things you guys will be learning about me. I have a candle line coming out called the Petty Parlor Candle Company.
All right. Listen, you better
Winter is
run it.
working
She is
Winter.
using her time. That's how you do
Yes.
it.
Use that
Absolutely.
time, girl. We
Winter,
love
I
it.
want to see you in more white in the confessionals
I want
because
a
if they
candle.
gonna call you Snow or whatever that snowflake,
Yes,
like I
be
want
in
you
white.
to give them like
Lisa
I
Rated
like
shit.
yes.
I asked to wear white all the time. It does not get approved because we don't get to have the final say. White is actually my favorite color. If you see me outside of the show, if I speak or if I do certain events, I'm usually always wearing white. My wardrobe is predominantly white because I like white, winter white, cream, all that stuff. So I would love to see me in more white too. Carlos in production, if you're listening, they would love to see me in more white. But I love white. I'm not against it. So yeah, I mean, I'm excited, y'all. This is a good season for me. Starts off a little rocky, but it get better. But yeah, winter is working, and that's all it's about for me: working and winning. That's really
I know that's right.
the mantra that I'm in, and you know, seeing that these kids get into the world and be productive adults, and you know, start their own families, make me a grandma 10, 20 years down the road.
Yes, ma'am.
Awesome. Well, we thank you so much for joining us and dropping all of the new information, and clearing some
Good
things up.
time.
We appreciate that. You're always welcome to come back. So we definitely hope to speak to you before the season is completely over. So thank you so much again. And yeah, we will definitely be in touch.
Yes, we will.
All right. Have a great
Thank
one,
you for
Winter.
coming, Winter.
Bye.
Bye.
All right, y'all. This was really, really good. This was good.
Yes, it
Um,
was. Good time had by all.
let's see. Give me 1 second. I want to make sure that I put up ways that the people can reach out to us. I really enjoyed that. So definitely shout out to Winter for coming through. I appreciate it. You guys definitely be sure to find us over on social media. All of our information is listed here. You can email us. You can catch us on Twitter, Instagram, all of that great stuff. Thank you guys so much again for tuning in. And we are going to catch you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.